Hello, thank you for joining me in a new video. Today I have an unboxing of the Vivo X200 Pro to share with you. Let's dive in. This device has just made its official debut in Mexico, which is exciting because this brand hasn't released many high-end models yet. We are indeed looking at one of the top contenders in mobile photography. So let's explore what's inside the box. But first, let me mention that its launch price in Mexico is 29,200 pesos with vSafe Premium is included. This is a program that Vivo provides, offering 3 years of warranty, 1 year of insurance against theft, and 6 months of insurance for screen damage. Naturally, like all insurances, there is fine print to review, but it seems like an intriguing addition for such an expensive device. Now that we've learned that, let's unbox the proposal and get familiar with it. To begin with, the box arrives in a more squared shape, whereas typically boxes tend to be rectangular. In this instance, the design is somewhat unique. It's evident that this is a high-end product because even on the box, there's this embossed detail. From here, we can also notice the collaboration with size. Next, we proceed to remove the cell phone and we immediately encounter this protective layer. It seems there is no way to open it without breaking this protection, so please enjoy the sound of it. Alright, let's go ahead and take this off, and now we're directly using the cell phone. You can definitely sense right away that this is a device with a complete focus on photography thanks to its impressive camera module. It stands out remarkably, making it perfect for those who love taking photos with their cell phone. Let's power it on, and while it's booting up, let's take a look at what other items are included in the box. We'll take out this small cardboard, and we immediately find another box containing the SIM card removal tool and likely some quick documentation. Interestingly, this one also includes a case. The case is fully transparent, quite flexible, with slightly rigid corners. It's basic protection, but high-end manufacturers usually don't include a charger or case, so it's nice that this one comes with a case included. Especially considering it is a model that hasn't gained much popularity yet, it might be challenging to find a suitable case for it in a physical store. However, the aesthetics of the device certainly don't appear as premium with a case on as they do without one. Therefore, I would personally prefer using this device without a case. Always be cautious with the camera module, which is rather large and covered by glass. Fortunately, it seems to handle reflections quite well. We'll review the camera performance later, but for now, let's continue exploring the box contents. Besides the case I mentioned, we have the usual paperwork and quick info, and that's about it for this small box. However, there's a second box that might have more. Let's check it out quickly. Here we find the cable USB to USB-C for all high-end devices. I believe it's necessary to critique the inclusion of USB-A as it doesn't provide the modern experience expected today. Ideally, it should be USB-C on both ends. However, the disappointing surprise tonight is the absence of a charger, which is unfortunate as you'll need to purchase it separately. Additionally, keep in mind that it utilizes Vivo's proprietary technologies, so if you want to take full advantage of the maximum charging power, you'll need to buy a 90 watts flash charge charger. And interestingly enough, at the moment of recording this video, the sole charger that nearly matches that power available in Vivo's official store is the 80% watt one. Therefore, we hope that Vivo will enhance the distribution of its chargers to avoid disappointing its users. It's certain that sooner or later, these chargers will be accessible in your store. By the way, I forgot to mention, in Mexico, these are distributed solely through this brand's online store. The website is Vivo Shop MX, and currently, as of the time of recording this video, it's out of stock. However, the registration list is open, allowing you to be among the first to know the moment it becomes available again. So those are the contents of the box. Now, let's focus a bit more on the cell phone itself. I already have the device set up here in my hands, and we'll gradually explore its specifications, which will confirm to you that we are indeed looking at a high-end device. The thickness of this device is 8.49 millimeters, and it weighs 228 grams. It is a flagship phone, and while it doesn't prioritize being ultra-thin or lightweight, it makes no compromises when it comes to the camera module or the battery. The glass is crafted by the German company Scott in partnership with Vivo, which means it doesn't use Gorilla Glass, but it is expected to have excellent resistance. On the topic of resistance, it features an IP68 rating, so if it accidentally falls into water, it stands a good chance of surviving. The screen measures 6.78 inches diagonally. Notice how the bezels are ultra thin, allowing for a perfect utilization. This display boasts a resolution of 2800 by 1260 pixels, making it a high-resolution display. It features a refresh rate ranging from 0.1 to 120 Hz. This is actually the first display I've encountered that includes such details in its specifications. Additionally, it offers smart tuning and its peak brightness reaches an impressive 4500 nits, ensuring it will also provide excellent for both outdoor and indoor viewing. Clearly, as expected with any high-end device, it features an AMOLED display. Additionally, it offers stereo sound with a speaker located at the bottom and another speaker positioned on the earpiece for call audio. From my initial impressions, the sound quality hasn't been particularly outstanding to me. It appears to emphasize the mid-frequencies slightly more, which leads to a sound that isn't as enjoyable when played at maximum volume. The front camera is 32 megapixels with an f2 aperture, but it has fixed focus. In the preview, I noticed the lighting isn't fully optimized yet, though it does balance light and shadow well. However, I'm not convinced by the front camera's photography. I find it a weak point of the device, especially given its high price and lack of autofocus. Still, the picture shows a good level of detail, but the colors haven't quite convinced me either. However, the most appealing part of the device is on the back. Here, we find a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera featuring an f2.0 aperture along with autofocus for macro scenes. Next, we have the main camera, which is also 50 megapixels with an aperture of f1.50, optical stabilization and autofocus. And finally, we have the 200 megapixel periscope camera featuring an aperture of f2.67. Its focal length stands at 85mm, which is roughly 3.7x optical zoom. While the optical zoom might not appear overly impressive at first glance when paired with the 200 megapixel sensor, it has the potential to deliver excellent results. In my opinion, the photography is truly remarkable. Observe that with the same ultra-wide camera, we can already see exceptional detail. The color rendition is very good and the textures are quite impressive. Then with the main camera, it maintains the same performance. I continue to see good textures, balanced lighting and more. Now take a look at the photograph using the 46mm lens. It involves cropping within the sensor to achieve a 2x zoom with optical quality and it looks excellent. Next, observe the result with the 85mm lens, which again provides excellent quality. I truly appreciate how it represents the shadows. They are well defined without being entirely dark. Now, take a look at the photograph taken with 115mm, which means using 5x zoom. Notice that it will also apply cropping within the sensor to keep up the optical quality. Next, observe the photograph at 230mm, which is 10x zoom. Even though it is a digital zoom, I still appreciate an excellent level of detail, very close to what we would expect with optical quality. Now, you are seeing the result at 460mm, which is 20x zoom, and we still observe an excellent result. And now you are looking at the result with 60x zoom, which is extremely high, yet it still maintains very good detail. And obviously, this is during the daytime. And the maximum zoom is 2300mm, which equals 100x. Through artificial intelligence, it tries to optimize the details, but it doesn't appear fake. I think the result is quite impressive, especially considering the tremendous distance. Definitely, the photographic system is very attractive. In the video review, we will conduct many more tests in various lighting environments. We'll have the chance to observe if its performance stays just as impressive in different contexts too. When it comes to video recording, the front camera offers 4K at 60 frames per second, and it's even compatible with Dolby Vision. Meanwhile, the rear camera can record up to 8K, although this is limited to the main camera. However, if we prefer, we can record in 4K at 60 frames per second using any of the cameras, or at 120 frames per second with both the main and the periscope cameras. Additionally, it obviously maintains Dolby Vision support is available, although it is limited to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Nevertheless, it's still a great feature and it seems reliable. In terms of video recording, the Lav 8 device has a battery capacity of 6000 milliamps in a single cell, utilizing lithium-ion technology. Theoretically, this means it has an excellent capacity. Hopefully, our test will confirm this capacity, but I'll provide more details in the full video review. For now, it looks quite impressive on. This particular aspect is noteworthy. It supports charging at 90 watts when using a cable and 30 watts when charging wirelessly. The device is equipped with Android 15 along with Phone Touch 15. In this case, it is receiving an update that I will install for the review. It includes 16 gigabytes of physical RAM, and they even add an additional 16 gigabytes of virtual RAM, which I find unnecessary. It also comes with 512 gigabytes of storage, providing a tremendous capacity. So you definitely won't encounter any issues when saving your data, all your photos or videos. Finally, the processor is the MediaTek Dimensity 9400. Additionally, it has a chip called Vivo V+, which focuses on camera-related features. If you're into numbers, using Geekbench in single core, it gave us a score of 2,548 points, and in multi-core, it provided 7,247 points. This is below the Snapdragon 8 Elite that other flagship devices use, yet it remains quite powerful. On the other hand, in Antutu, I received a result of 24,39,762 points. I must insist that it is quite a powerful device. It may not be the most powerful option available today or in the high-end market, but believe me, it offers very good power, providing a performance worthy of a flagship. In fact, regarding optimization, this processor has delivered excellent results when we tested it in games and more. So it is definitely anticipated that the experience will be very positive. That's all for now in this video. Remember, we'll soon have the full review to share more details about this device. If you liked the video, let us know, and we'll see you next time.